What's up, guys? What's up? Thursday night football just ended. Just cashed with the Packers plus 3.5. Solid way to start the week. Feeling good. I'm still not over Jameis Winston screwing my money over on Monday Night Football. I gotta get over it, guys. I gotta get over it. But damn, that shit hurts. Gosh, Jameis, what the heck are you doing, man? Seriously. Anyways, it's okay. It's done. It's over with. Move on to week 14, the rest of week 14, off to a great start. Follow all my official plays, all of my official communication at Twitter, at Easy Money Wins. That's where I release all my official plays. I'll give a lot of my initial feelings, leans, thoughts, all that stuff on this podcast. But I don't have any other official bets yet for the week, except for the Packers that won tonight. So follow me at Twitter at Easy Money Wins for all my official plays to see what I get there, put my money on. Year to date, I'm plus 13 units now. So the $100 better would be up $1,300. So that's pretty cool. I'm doing this all for free, and I'm at 54%. So yeah, I'm just chugging along, guys. I'm chugging along. Got plenty of room to stack and make more money. My goal is 50 units for the year. I aim high. If I fall short, then hey, fall a little short, make a lot of money still doing that. So yeah, that's what it is, guys. Let's not waste any other time. Let's get right into it. First game, we got the Falcons at the Vikings. The Kirk Cousins Bowl, right? Kirk Cousins played for the Vikings last year before he got hurt. Now he plays for the Falcons. And Kirk Cousins, man, he's on my shit list too, man. He is too. I had him on Sunday against the Chargers. Justin Herbert only had 157 yards passing, was sacked 5 times. Kirk Cousins threw 4 interceptions, and they still should have won that game. Still had a chance to win that game. Man, at home, off the bye week, off of 2 straight losses. Come on, man. Embarrassing. Freaking embarrassing. So now they're going on the road. Sorry, guys. I'm still battling a little bit of a cold. Yeah, so now they go on the road to Minnesota, where, Minnesota has great fans. They're coming off a really good win. They had to come back from behind. They were kind of asleep at the wheel against the Cardinals, right? I mean, they were gosh, come on, wake up, guys, wake up. Go win me my money. And they did. They came through, and they won for me. Sorry, I'm trying to find the... here it is. But yeah, anyways, that's what's going on there, but... let me go over my notes here. So Atlanta is 5-7 against the spread. They're 4-8 over under. So 4 overs, 8 unders. Minnesota is 7-4 ATS. They're the same as the Falcons. They're 4 overs and 8 unders. So these are 2 under teams. And Atlanta's very healthy on offense, on defense. Just got to track their front 7. The 2 linebackers like Landum and Troy Anderson. And then somebody else, I think, on the defensive line is questionable too. Got to track them. But other than that, they're healthy, guys. Next game is at Las Vegas against the Raiders on Monday Night Football. And, yeah, Minnesota, their next game is Monday Night Football as well, at home against Chicago. So I guess there's 2 Monday Night Football games going on next week. They're very healthy on offense. Defense, we got to track Blake Cashman, the linebacker, and Van Ginkel, the linebacker. I don't think Van Ginkel played last week, but I know Cashman did. And then Stephon Gilmore popped up on the injury report too. And then Bullard, the defensive tackle, he's on there as well too. But he's been playing even though he's been questionable every week. So in my mind, the plus 5.5, I don't know, guys. It's Kirk Cousins has looked really bad. And even during the the beginning of the season when the Falcons were winning a lot of those close lucky games, Kirk was really close to getting sacked and just also throwing a couple more interceptions. I think he got a little lucky, honestly, and I think his luck's running out. So it for me, I'm not trying to guess. I lean Falcons plus the 5.5. Is there a plus 6 out there? No, just plus 5.5. I lean them plus 5.5, but I don't feel great about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna play it. I'm definitely not gonna play it because I do think Minnesota wins this game. I think they have the better defense. I think they can make the plays when they need to make it, just like they did last week. Like, and I mean, so just like from the Vikings perspective, guys, the Vikings keep pulling out good wins, or not necessarily good wins, but like close wins. Like at Chicago, 30-27. And I know Chicago's record's been not that great, but like I mean, we saw they took Detroit to the end of the game last week on Thanksgiving. Like Chicago's not an awful team. Chicago's a respectable team. So to go on the road and pull out that win in overtime, that was very good. It's the NFL, guys. It's the NFL. They're pulling out quality wins here. So I expect the Vikings to pull out another win this week. I really do. And do they cover the point spread? I don't know, guys. And like, if you've been listening to the podcast long enough, you know what I say. Like, hey, if you cover the spread, then if you win the game, you're most likely going to cover the spread. Well, last week there were like 4 teams that won and did not cover the spread. So the one was obviously the Lions, right? Sorry, my computer's like really slow today, guys. But yeah, anyways, that's how I lean. But over-under wise, well, my computer's like acting up. Oh my gosh, it's being ridiculous. Okay, no, it's not. It's back. It's good. We're good, guys. We're good. I do lean under 46 for this game, and I actually think I'm going to get there with it. I don't know I got to do a little more research on it. Even though both teams are 4-8, like some teams just end the season like 6-11 over under. So I wouldn't. I'm telling you guys, I feel like this is a little too high. Kirk Cousins is not in great form. I definitely do not trust him to play better against the Vikings defense. And then also, I expect him to not turn the ball over as much too. When a quarterback throws a lot of interceptions, like the next week, they're going to be probably a little cautious. They're probably going to be like calm. They're going to be like, okay, let me not throw. Let me not throw this tight ball. And throw this ball into this tight window. Let me calm down a little bit. So that's my feeling. I really do like that under 46. I'm gonna think about though. I'm gonna think about that. Okay, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. I feel like the first game I always take too long, and then I'm like, Eric, I gotta hurry up. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving, guys. New Orleans Saints at the New York Giants. That is the next game. The line is -4.5, and over under is 41. There's a 41.5 at one book, juice to the under, and the 40.5 juice to the over at another book. So really not anything crazy there. Let's see, what do my notes say for the Saints? Well, weather. So let's talk about the weather. 50 degrees at kickoff, 10-mile-per-hour winds, no rain. So really nothing too crazy weather-wise to affect the over-under in this game. New Orleans, 5-7 against the spread. They are 7-5 over/under, 7 overs, 5 unders. The Giants are 3-9 against the spread, 4 overs and 8 unders. So a little contrasting style of over/unders for each of these teams. The Giants will start Drew Lock at quarterback this week again. We need to monitor the offensive line. Both offensive tackles are questionable right now as it stands. And so, yeah, if both of them come in, like Chris Hubbard starting in one of the offensive tackles positions, like that's not good against that New Orleans Saints defensive front seven. So that would be really bad. Now, they still have Brian Burns. They still have Thibodeau, on the edge rushers. But Dexter Lawrence, he's on IR. There's other defensive linemen that are questionable. The middle linebacker, Bobby Okereke, he is also questionable. And then Deonte Banks, who cares about Deonte Banks, right? I mean, the guy doesn't make a lick of a difference in the back end. First round pick for what, right? I mean, seriously, he's questionable. Who cares? The next game is at home against Baltimore next week. They're on a 7-game losing streak. So that's the Giants, guys. I mean, don't need to go into too crazy detail about them. They've been stinking it up. New Orleans, they also have a lot of offensive linemen that are questionable. Definitely need to track that. They lost Taysom Hill to IR. So, and the other 2 tight ends, like Juwan Johnson and the other guy, he's questionable as well. So, need to see what's going on with that New Orleans Saints offensive front for sure. The defense is fully healthy. No new injuries on the defense. So, that's good. Next game for the Saints, they're at home against Washington. And they just lost to Carolina, obviously lost to the Rams by 7. Okay, so Carr only threw for 184 passing yards. Derek Carr, guys, like I don't know how to explain this, man. I really don't. He walks around. He like talks the talk. Yeah, this is what it is. This is what it is, guys. He talks the talk. He can't walk the walk. I mean, seriously. I mean, this guy will look confident, walk tall, chest all out, looking like he knows what he's doing, then throws for 184 yards, and then you're like, like he doesn't appear like he only threw for 184 yards, but like that's what he does. That's Derek Carr. Like he's just not that good, guys. He's just not that good. But my thought process is I don't think he trusts his wide receivers. Like when Marquez Valdes-Scantling is your go-to wide receiver, that's an issue. That's a big time issue. Even though he's been playing well, like historically, MVS has not done that great. Okay, now on the other side, I can't trust Drew Lock either. Like he was worse than I thought he was. he was worse than I thought he was on Thanksgiving. Like I was a little worried that Tommy DeVito wasn't playing. I was like, damn. Like I got Cowboys money line. I think Drew Lock might be able to lead him to a victory here. I mean, he made it interesting at times, but I mean, golly, he looked bad. He looked awful at other times. So hard to trust Derek Carr on the road. Hard to trust Drew Lock. Plus 4.5 is through a couple key numbers. Giants are at home. They're a mess. I lean. I'm not betting this game, guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not betting this game. I kind of lean Giants plus 4.5, but I don't. Man, I'm not betting that game, guys. I actually do like the under 41. I do like that under 41. But just Drew Lock. Drew Lock can make it interesting, and then the Giants can't stop anybody. I'm not betting this game, guys. I'm taking that under 41 off my short list. I don't know why I had that on there. All right, next game, guys. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars at. Whoops, I just lost it. At Tennessee, Cashville, Tennessee. My buddy, he's a Jaguars fan. He calls Nashville Cashville. So I don't know. Thought that was kind of funny. So let's take a look. Jaguars obviously don't have Trevor Lawrence anymore. But first, weather. 55 degrees, 5 to 10 mile per hour winds, and rain is probable. So looks like it's going to be a little rain in Nashville on a Sunday. So 55 degrees, 5 to 10 mile per hour. That's a little bit of weather, guys. That's a little bit of weather right there. Jacksonville, 6-5 ATS. They've been covering, guys, and I've been making money with Jacksonville this year. 6 covers, 5 no covers, and they only got like 2 wins. I think they're the first draft pick on the board right now. 7 overs, 5 unders, so they're an over team. And Tennessee, surprisingly, Tennessee has been an over team as well. They're 7-4 over under, and then against the spread, they're 2-10. So just off the break, guys. And I talk about this all the time, but again, history is a great teacher, just in life, right? I mean, that's like a cliche saying as it gets. Like, history's a great teacher, all right? I say this every week on this podcast, guys. The trends always, except for very, very few outliers, like once every maybe 5 to 10 years, is there something different. But the worst ATS team will get 4 covers this year. Tennessee is the worst against the spread team this year with only 2 covers. They will end the year with 4 covers. They have 2 more in them. They've got 2 more in them, guys, okay? So if you're betting against Tennessee, you got to be very, very careful, guys. Very careful, because I'm telling you, odds are, heavily, that they will cover 2 more games out of the next 5 games left, all right? So, what games those are, I don't know. Is it going to be this one? I don't think so. So let's get into the breakdown. Jacksonville offense is healthy. Just need to track Brandon Sheriff, the offensive guard. Defense is also very healthy. Just need to track Tyson Campbell, the cornerback. So, but even if those 2 guys don't play, Jacksonville's pretty damn healthy. And then Mac Jones finally started to look playable. let's put it that way. After he looked embarrassing against Minnesota and looked awful at Detroit, he finally looked respectable when he came in after Trevor Lawrence got knocked out by Al-Shaair from the Texans. So Mac Jones, like, it's hard for me to trust you, man. But, like, if you're going to play like that against Houston, I definitely think you're better than Will Levis. I have a little hope there, right? So next game for them is at home against the Jets. Nothing too crazy there. For Tennessee, Skoronski, the guard, and Watson, the offensive tackle, are questionable. Need to track them. On the defense, their three best players are questionable. Well, not three best players, but on the three different levels. The rookie Sweat, defensive tackle, Kenneth Murray, the linebacker, and then Roger McCreary. They're all questionable. Those could be significant, guys. If those three guys miss the game, in my opinion, that's a big deal. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe I'm making it more of a deal than it is. But those are three important guys. Those are three starters and like guys that make plays on that defense. So next game for them is at home against the Bengals next week. It's obviously the Zach Taylor and Callahan, connection. But like I said, Tennessee, like Jacksonville, plus 3.5 is the spread right now. Let me see if it changed since this afternoon. Let me refresh the odds. No, plus 3.5, like with juice, and I lean that way. Are you telling me you need Tennessee to win by margin? Like, I definitely don't trust that. You kidding me? Like, sorry. Let's just take a look. Like, Tennessee, they beat New England by 3. Like, yeah, they were leading by 7 in the fourth quarter, and then they beat Miami at Miami, but that was with Tyler Huntley at quarterback. Like, he's definitely worse than Mac Jones. So. And then they won by 5 at Houston 2 weeks ago. I don't know, guys. I don't trust them to win by margin. But it's hard for me to bet against the 2-10 ATS team right now. So I'm going to stay off that game most likely. But I don't know, guys. I'm kind of like bet the Jags. Like they're 2-10, record wise, and I think they're live to win this game. So. I don't know, guys. Over-under is at 40. Oh, I think that's a little bit of over money came in today. I think it was at 39.5 earlier. Hold on, let me see. Let me see what I tracked it at. Yeah, it was at 39.5, so a little bit of over money came in there. I kind of agree with that a little bit, but if it gets to 41, I don't know. Then I kind of need to look under because, I don't know, guys. It's all about Mac Jones. Like, if Mac Jones looked like he did last week, the game will go over, the Jags will win and cover. If Mac Jones sucks, it's going to go under, and the Tennessee Titans will cover. It's all about Mac Jones, guys. It is. All right, enough. I don't want to talk about Mac Jones anymore. All right, next game. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And let me see what the line is now. We've got 6.5, plus 6.5 for the Raiders. Over-unders at 46.5. And weather's really, really nice in Tampa this Sunday, guys. 75 degrees, 5-mile-per-hour winds, partly cloudy, mostly sunny. So can't ask for a prettier day in Florida to go play some football, right? It's bowl season weather. All right, so Vegas, they're 5-7 ATS, 8-4 over/under. So an over team, Tampa Bay 7-5 ATS, and they're also an over team as well, 8-4. So both teams are 8-4 to the over. Las Vegas offense is all healthy except for the running backs. Got to track the running backs. Defense is healthy minus Nate Hobbs, the nickelback. He's questionable. O'Connell did pop up on the injury report with an illness today, guys. And I don't know if you've been listening to my NBA podcast. At Free NBA Daily Bets or Free NBA Bets at YouTube. There's this illness going around in the NBA, and these guys are missing games. Star players can't even suit up. No one's suiting up. They pop up with illness and they don't play. I don't know if they're trying to a contamination thing. They're just hey, if you're sick at all, we're gonna isolate you so the rest of the team doesn't get sick. Maybe that's what's happening, but Desmond Ritter's the backup. If Desmond Ridder plays, this is going to get ugly because Desmond Ritter's trash. Really. He looked worse in preseason this year than he even looked in the regular season last year. He looked awful in preseason this year. So, got to track Aiden O'Connell because he threw for 340 passing yards last week. And I don't know, guys. O'Connell, he's got a little juice to him right now, so it's interesting. Next game for them is Monday Night Football at home against Atlanta. They've lost 8 straight games. The Raiders have. On the other side, Tampa Bay, their next game is at the Chargers. So nothing too serious there. Tampa Bay is tied for first in the division, but they do not have the tiebreaker because they lost to Atlanta twice. But they have the same record. They're 6-6. So they legitimately have a chance to take a hold of the first place of the division this week. So this is a big game for Tampa Bay. Mike Evans is questionable, Bucky Irving is questionable, and Wirfs, the offensive tackle, is questionable. So just need to track those guys on the offensive side of the ball. Those are obviously like their 3 best players outside Baker Mayfield. And then on defense, Mike Edwards, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, Tyke Smith, the rookie cornerback, and KJ Britt, the linebacker, are questionable. Need to monitor them. Not necessarily. I mean, they're not like game changers, but I mean, if the more like key role players you get out of your lineup, like it affects the overall group. So I mean, we're gonna track them. We're gonna track them. Tampa Bay, like I said, they got a chance to take over the South. But this game's weird, guys. I do think Tampa wins, but Las Vegas has been really good at covering this year. Like 5 covers, and they only have like 3 wins or something like that. Like how many wins do the Raiders have? 2 wins. They only have 2 wins. Man, there's some bad freaking NFL teams this year, guys. And like, to be honest, I can't stand this. I can't stand it. Like, I don't like betting on these awful games. I don't like it at all. Like, it drives me crazy. Like, Jaguars Titans, like, who's betting on that shit? I mean, I guess Jacksonville plus 3.5 is an edge. I guess, like a small edge, but like, come on. Like, no one knows what Mac Jones is going to do this week. No one knows. No one knows what he's going to look like. So, like, you're literally putting your money on Mac Jones, and you're just, like, guessing that, like, good Mac Jones is going to show up. So, like, side note, guys. That's a side note. But yeah, like, this game, Aiden O'Connell, like, he's been kind of hit or miss as well, too. But I don't know, guys. I lean the Raiders plus 6.5. I do, but I like the Buccaneers to cover. I mean, to win. Over under wise, I like under. I do like the under. I think the Raiders are trending as an under team right now, with O'Connell at quarterback. Let me see. Let me take a look. I did circle this, guys. I am seriously considering betting this because when both teams are like that heavy of an over team, like usually there's more unders than overs in an NFL season in general. So my intent is Raiders on this one. So I mean, if we look at Denver, they were Denver at home, 29-19, at Miami 34-19, but they gave up a late touchdown and that went over. That really should have went under. Cincinnati, that was they were just giving up before the bye week. Kansas City 27-20 at the Rams 2015. That game went under. So last game went under, obviously last week. I lean under here, guys. I like Patty Graham. Like, I really respect him. I really, really do. Like, the defense coordinator for the Raiders. Like, and also Antonio Pierce. Like, they're not going to quit on the coaching staff. The players are. Like, they've been fighting hard, guys. They really, really have. And I like their defensive, like, just personnel. Like, there's some prideful veterans on that team. So I lean under there. I'm seriously going to think about it. But again, I want to see those defensive players for Tampa, if they're going to play or not. Because with a total at 46.5, like it's kind of high. That in last week, I kind of look at this stuff too. That last week's game against Carolina, that game should have went under. That game was an under until it hit the overtime, and then it snuck over, like literally on the game-winning field goal. Like, that game should have went under. And then the week before, that game did go under, and the defense played well at New York. Obviously, I mean, Tommy DeVito's trash. But then the week before that, it was 23-20 at home against San Francisco, and that game went under as well, I believe. So I think there's a little bit of under movement with Tampa Bay. I really like that under 46.5, 46. I think I wrote that down. Yeah, I did write that down. I like that, guys. I think I'm going to get there with that. I'm going to do a little more research on that one. Okay, next game, friends. Next game. Let me erase Let me get Tampa off the screen. All right. Let's go. Let's see who's next here. Oh, my team, my squad, the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Cleveland Browns. -6.5 is the spread for the Pittsburgh Steelers. First place in the AFC North, Pittsburgh Steelers. Here we go. Let's go. Obviously, we know about the Browns. I just vented at the beginning of the show about Jameis Winston being a dumbass. Just being a dumbass. But in all honesty, it's the Jameis Winston experience, guys. It is. Let's stick to the process. Let's look at the weather first. Go over the ATS records, then get into the breakdown. Weather 50 degrees. 10 to 20 mile per hour winds in Pittsburgh on Sunday. So something to monitor there. Cleveland is 4-8 against the spread, and they are 6-6 over under. Pittsburgh 9-3 ATS, and they are 7-5 over under. So just already looking at that, Cleveland should have covered last week. They did not. Pittsburgh just keeps covering. They're 9-3. Like, that's not sustainable. They will get 2 more no covers. That's again just like the worst against the spread team will finish the year with 4 or 5 covers. The best against the spread team will finish with 5 or 6 no covers. Sometimes 4, but that's like an outlier. 3 and 4 no covers. Not covering. That's an outlier. So Pittsburgh at 9-3, they're due for not covering some games coming up, guys. They are. But again, their schedule's tough. They play Philly, they play Kansas City, they play at Baltimore, and so like those 3, they could easily not cover those 3 games right there. So Pittsburgh could still win and cover this game, but I don't know. I kind of like Cleveland to cover this, guys. I do. I think Steelers win a close one, an AFC North matchup. For the Browns, health-wise, Tillman, the wide receiver, and Wills, offensive tackle, are questionable. On defense, Juan Thornhill and Greg Newsome, the secondary, the safety, and the cornerback, they're questionable as well, so you need to track them if you like Cleveland. Next game up for Cleveland is at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. Pittsburgh is healthy, both sides of the ball, except for wide receiver Calvin Austin. It has a concussion. He's in concussion protocol. He did practice, though, both days, so hoping he gets out there. And I just want to say this, too. Everyone's saying the Steelers needed another wide receiver. I said at the beginning of the year, even my friends were telling me, like, oh, you guys should go get him and him and him. Like, I liked our wide receiver room. I still like our wide receiver room. I think we have plenty there to go win a Super Bowl. All right, next game is at Philly for the Steelers. These teams obviously just played 2 weeks ago. Steelers had a chance to win. Cleveland came back and won it in a snowy game. And, it's a classic AFC North game. No doubt about it, right? So I do lean under 43.5 as well. I think it is going to be kind of a low-scoring AFC North kind of game. Steelers win a close one. Cleveland covers. But I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm going to bet that. I think I am going to bet Pittsburgh like in a money line teaser. And I know I'm saying I'm not trying to do teasers, but for some, like at the end of the season, these games really mean a lot. Like a lot more than in October and September and even November. Like teams got to win. They can't play with their food right now, right? And Steelers, I feel like they have a very, very, very high chance of winning this game. So I might break my rule here at the end of the season. I might selectively play a couple of teasers. I played a teaser last week that barely won with Washington and Tampa Bay barely winning in overtime. But hey, win's a win, guys. We'll keep it going. Okay. All right. If you guys are listening still now, I appreciate you guys listening. I check the analytics every week on the podcast and the YouTube channel, and you guys are like a good amount of you guys are listening all the way through. So I really do appreciate it. Like honestly, like that's why I'm still doing this. Like I have a job and then I do this like late at night. Like it's like 12 o'clock on the East Coast and I'm doing this still now. So all I ask is like, hey, I'm doing this for free. Drop a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter at EasyMoneyWins, comment, all that stuff. Just show some engagement. It helps my brand, helps everything grow. So appreciate you guys. Okay, next game up, we've got the Carolina Panthers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Weather in Philadelphia is 50 degrees, 10 to 15 mile per hour wind, so a little bit more windy on the east side of Pennsylvania. Carolina is 5-7 ATS, which is pretty damn impressive. Like for a team, so like they only have 3 wins, 5 covers. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Kind of like Jacksonville, right? They have 9 overs to 3 unders. They've been a clear over team all season, pretty much. Philadelphia is 8 covers to 4 no covers, and then they're 5-7 over under. So Carolina offense is pretty healthy. Just need to monitor the wide receiver Coker. He's pretty good too. Coker definitely need to see if he's going to play. And then Sanders, the tight end, need to see if he's going to play too. Those are nice weapons for Bryce Young. And then on defense, Josie Jewell, the linebacker, Clowney, Jadeveon Clowney, the defensive end, and then Wonham, the defense tackle. They're questionables too, so need to see what's going on with them. Their next game is at home against Dallas, so they're off 2 close home losses, and then before that they had 2 wins against the Saints and the Giants, but they have not played well on the road at all. And it's kind of like, with this one with Bryce Young playing a little better, it's not quite the like Mac Jones and Will Levis situation. Trust me, Bryce Young on the road has not played well. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm kind of interested in this game, and I don't know, guys. The only reason I'm a little hesitant is because that Philadelphia defense, and I called that right last week with Philly, Baltimore under 51. That Philly defense is legit. They're actually legit. Let's take a look. Let's not give them too much love. But, Philly's I think the number 3 defense in the NFL right now. Only gave up 19 to Baltimore. Only gave up 20 to the Rams. But really, I think they only gave up 14 to the Rams. They gave up a late touchdown, which really should not have been. It was a garbage time touchdown. Let's see. Washington, they gave up 18 at home on Thursday Night Football. That was solid, and they were really controlling that game, too. They only gave up 6 to Dallas. Some of these, Cincinnati, they only gave up 17 to Cincinnati at Cincinnati. That's really good. So, yeah, I think this defense is pretty damn legit, guys. I do. I really do. And I like what Vic Fangio is doing over there. So, I do lean, as much as I like how Bryce Young is playing right now, I think that Philadelphia defense could really suffocate whatever type of positive things are happening over there and make Bryce Young look like Bryce Young that we all know. So that's just my and then also Carolina, they're not going to be able to stop Philly. It's just is Philly going to get up for this game, guys? Are they really going to get up for this game? I don't know. I don't know. See, it's minus 13 in the NFL. That's high. That's high. And I don't think Carolina's deserving of being that huge of an underdog, but I could see it going either way. It's just Philly's motivation, and then Bryce Young get a garbage time. They're down 20, guys. If they're down 20 in the fourth quarter, Bryce Young gets a garbage touchdown. They cover. There's a plus 13.5 out there. They would cover. And I definitely see a late garbage time touchdown. So I don't know. I can't put my money on Philadelphia. I could only look Carolina for sure. And then the total is at 46. I like the under here, I think. I like the under here, guys. Or Carolina. Panthers team total under. That might be a look too, but I kind of like under 46. I wrote it down, but I don't know if I'm going to get there with it just because Philly could easily score 30 here, 35. But then if Philly scores 35, I honestly don't know if Carolina scores. I think they get to 10. I don't know, guys. I'm probably not going to touch that. All right, next game, guys. Next game. I really like the later games on this schedule. So I don't know how many 1 o'clock bets I'm going to have, but 4 o'clock window I do like a lot. And starting with the... Oh, sorry, we still got one more 1 o'clock game left. We got the Jets. Oh, gosh, the Jets. The fucking Jets. Jets, Dolphins. So if you follow me on Twitter, you know my feelings about the Jets. cost me a lot of money this year. If I did not bet the Jets this year, I would be up like 25 more units, something like that. I'd be up like 40 units on the season. It would be sunshine and rainbows. That's what it would be. And gosh, I hated this, guys. I think the Jets are the right side. I think they are. I do. I think they are. Plus 5.5, plus 6. I think that is the right side this week. So let's go over the notes. Miami, no weather issues. Obviously, they play like in a retractable roof. The Jets are 3-9 ATS. I think they have 3 wins. Yeah, only 3 wins. So this is the crazy thing. I looked at the Jets schedule. Like, they literally lost on the last play of the game on like 5 of their games. They really could have 8 wins. They legitimately could be 8-4 right now. But they're not. They're not. But I'm just saying, like, that's how close they are. That's how close the NFL is, guys. Yeah, sorry, back to my notes here. So the offensive line is banged up a little bit for the Jets. Need to monitor the offensive tackle situation and the guard situation. And then Breece Hall did not practice today, but I think he played last week after not playing. But they got Braylon Allen. I mean, they're fine. They're good. Sauce Gardner is questionable. Need to see if he's going to play, obviously, against the passing attack of the Miami Dolphins. Their next game is at Jacksonville. And then for Miami, their next game is at Houston. Now for Miami, their offensive lineman, Lamb, the guard, and then Armstead, the tackle, is questionable as well as Tyreek Hill. So they're questionable. Need to make sure they're all good to go. On the defensive side, the cornerbacks, Kader Kohu and Fuller are questionable, as well as the front 7 guys, Anthony Walker, the linebacker, and Benito Jones, the defensive tackle. So, like I said, I can only look the Jets plus 5.5. I mean, I understand Miami at home. Like, they play really well at home. I totally get that. But this Jets team, guys, somebody talk me off. If I bet the Jets plus 5.5 this week, somebody just like comment me on Twitter and just be like, I've lost it. Like, I've just totally lost it because I want to bet them, guys. I do. But, I mean, if we look at this, their last 2 home games were against the Raiders and New England, and they covered both those games. New England pretty easily. The Raiders, it was a little bit of a sweat. But the game before that, the home game, they lost to Arizona. The home game before that, they lost to Tennessee. And the home game before that, they lost to Buffalo. So they have 3 home losses. They only have 1, 2, 3. They only have 3 home wins. So they're 3-3 at home this season. They play San Francisco for their next home game here. I hope I stay off this game, guys. I don't want to bet this game. I really should not bet this game. But just plus 5.5, that smells like a winner to me, guys. I don't think Miami can win by margin against a competent NFL team. Like the Raiders and the Patriots, they got some issues. Like more issues than the Jets do, in my opinion. So that's my feelings on that game. Over-under is 44. I lean over. I do lean over. I think the Jets score, and obviously I think Miami scores too. So I do lean over there. I might get there with the over. If anything, well, let me just get there with the over so I don't even have to worry about the Jets. Did I write that down? I did not write that down. Let me write that down. I kind of like that. New York Jets / Miami over 44. Over 44. Okay. All right, let's keep it moving, guys. Next game up, we've got the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. And I like Arizona. I think Arizona's going to win this game, guys. I feel pretty damn confident about it. It's definitely going to be a 4-unit play for me. Just deciding if I want to put it on the money line or minus 2.5 because Arizona is 8-4 ATS. So that's pretty damn high against the spread. And then Seattle's only 5-6. So Seattle's won a couple games, but they did not cover. Seattle's 6-6 over under. Arizona is 4-7 over under. And I do like the over in this game too, guys. I do like the over in this game. Well, do I like the over in this game? I'm probably not going to bet the over under in this game just because Arizona's defense, and this is honestly why I feel even better about betting Arizona this week, is just that defense against Minnesota. Like, that defensive front seven was getting after it. Like, those guys played freaking hard. Like, that was like really nice to see. Just like for me feeling confident about betting Arizona this week, I love to see that. Like, I had this perception of like the Arizona defense was bad or just like really like soft. But I think they're the opposite, guys. From what I saw against Minnesota last week, like they were flying around. They were getting after it. And then they only held Seattle to 16 points, really only to 9 points because they didn't give up an offensive touchdown. I don't think they gave up an offensive touchdown at Seattle 2 weeks ago. So like these two teams just played 2 weeks ago, and Seattle won 16-6. But Seattle was at home. They needed a win, but they didn't look good. But Arizona didn't look good either, but Arizona's at home this time. So Arizona's going to look better. Arizona's on like a little losing streak. They've lost 2 in a row, but those were both on the road. And they won the 3 previous home games before that. So I really like Arizona to bounce back here, guys. I really do. I feel very strongly about it. Let's see. Injury report. DJ Metcalf and Kenneth Walker did not practice today on Thursday. And then Abraham Lucas, their right offensive tackle, need to track him. He's also questionable. On the defense side of the ball, Leonard Williams, the guy with the thick six. I always think that's funny, thick six, when like a defensive tackle takes it back for a touchdown. He's questionable this week. And then Ernest Jones, the linebacker, he's also questionable. Those are 2 impact players on that defense. Got to make sure they're playing if you like Seattle. They should have lost last week against the Jets. They were down 21-7, and the Jets were about to put in another touchdown to make it 28-7 in the second quarter. And then Aaron Rodgers threw the pick 6 to Leonard Williams, and the rest is history. And I lost my money on the Jets. I'm tired of talking about that game. All right, Arizona, they are really healthy. All starters are healthy. Darius Robinson, their first-round draft pick, played last week. I don't know how much he played, but he's questionable again this week. I hope he plays. I hope he does well because I'm going to be betting the Cardinals. And their next game is at home against New England. Oh, sorry. Seattle's next game is at home against Green Bay. So I'd just like to throw that in there just for like scheduling spots, just so like we get an idea of what these teams are like right now. Obviously Seattle's had nice 2 wins. Arizona's had 2 losses. Who their next game is it somebody they're looking ahead to? No, because these 2 teams are battling for first place in the division, Arizona and Seattle. So this is a huge game. I like Arizona, guys. I'm going to get there with them for sure. Follow me on Twitter to see how much money I put on them. Okay, and I lean over 44.5, but I don't feel great about that. I'm probably not going to bet that. But I do like Arizona to score some points. Okay, guys, next 4 o'clock game. We've got the Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Rams. This is a good football game, guys. Los Angeles, they're off a nice win at New Orleans, where they played pretty well, and low scoring affair in that game. And then Buffalo, obviously they just keep winning, guys. They beat San Francisco, who was lifeless and wanted no parts of being in the snow. No weather in LA in SoFi Stadium. Don't got to worry about that. So Bills are 8-4 ATS, 7-5 over under. The Rams are 5-7 ATS and 6-6 over under. Buffalo, Dalton Kincaid, the tight end, and Coleman, the rookie wide receiver, both practiced today. Got to check defense, though, because Taylor Rapp, he's questionable. But other than that, sorry, you don't got to check the defense. Other than that, they're healthy. They're good. Like, they're in a good spot, Buffalo is. They're on a nice 7-game win streak. Their next game, however, is at Detroit. That is a little bit of a look-ahead spot. Because obviously Detroit is like king of the NFC right now. Buffalo definitely feels like they're king of the AFC after beating Kansas City. Like, that's a Super Bowl preview potentially. So that's a big game next week for Buffalo. And, Rams are an out-of-conference opponent. Like, if they're going to have a sleepy spot, this could be the sleepy spot. Anyways. But the only reason why I don't love the spot for the Rams is that they play Thursday Night Football at San Francisco. Even though San Francisco doesn't have a chance to win the division, I don't think they do. The Rams do. And so that's a divisional win. Like, they need that for tiebreakers. Like, Thursday Night Football playing at San Francisco is definitely a more important game than this Bills game is, just for tiebreaker purposes. So it kind of gives me a little weird. Like, I feel like this is a good spot to fade Buffalo, but the Rams' scheduling spot isn't the best. On offense, they're pretty healthy. Alaric, I forget his name. The right tackle, Alaric Johnson or something like that. He's questionable, and then Demarcus Robinson, he's questionable as well. So with all that said, I do lean the Bills, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at Buffalo's schedule real quick, just to see their road home dichotomy. So they won at Indianapolis when Joe Flacco was at quarterback. They won at Seattle. Geno Smith sucks. They won at the Jets, and they should not have won that game. Then they lost at Houston, and they lost at Baltimore. Oh, and I called those games right, too. I remember that. Because I said like, hey, there's too much newness going on with Buffalo, like with that offense. But now, like, I don't feel that way about them. Like, they got Amari Cooper. Keon Coleman's played enough games. Dalton Kincaid's looked good this year. Khalil Shakir, like, they got Curtis Samuel. Like, James Cook is running the ball well. Like, I don't have those concerns anymore. Like, fading Buffalo was an early in the season type of proposition, and I cashed on that. That I was spot on with that. But now they're, like, gelling and they're playing well. So, like, them going on the road, I don't feel like as worried about it. Still 3 in the hook. I don't love it, but I definitely lean Buffalo minus 3.5. Let me see. Is there any chance it goes to 3? Maybe. I mean, we'll see. We'll take a look. We'll see. Maybe Sunday people take that 3 in the hook with the Rams and it knocks it down to minus 3 for the Bills. We'll see. We'll see, guys. Over under is at 49.5. And what did I put? I lean over 49.5. I do. Both these teams can score. The Rams are going to play really freaking hard at home. They always do. Let me see what the Rams are doing at home, like scoring wise. They only scored 20 against Philly on Monday or Sunday Night Football, something like that. Let me see here. Yeah, they scored 20. They scored only 15 against Miami. That was a lot of field goals. They scored 30 on Thursday Night Football against the Vikings. They scored only 20 at home against the Raiders. Yeah, that's right. And oh gosh, I lost money on that game. I'm remembering that game now. That was really annoying. They should have smoked the Raiders. Should have smoked them. But they were like self-destructing a little bit in the red zone the entire day. So, yeah. I still lean over. I think Buffalo scores points here, like kind of at will. And then I think the Rams can keep up. So, yeah, I lean over 49.5 there. All right, next game. The Bears, Chicago Bears, at the San Francisco 49ers. Let's see what my notes say here. The great weather in Palo Alto, I believe, is where they play. 60 degrees, light wind. Chicago is 6-4 ATS, 4-8 over under. San Francisco is 4-8 ATS, so not very good, covering the spread. And then they are 6-6 over under. So a little interesting there. So already off the break, Chicago's overachieving against the spread a little bit, in my opinion. 6-4 for, like, how many wins does this team have? 4 wins and 6 covers out of those. So it's an underachieving team, in my opinion, obviously. So San Francisco, they're underachieving as well too. But 4-8, they definitely have some room for some covers. And I like San Francisco here. I do like them here. I think this is a good spot. I've been very, very patient, looking for a spot to back San Francisco. I've recognized that they've had a lot of issues going on, both injury-wise and just team belief and chatter and Kyle Shanahan and all that stuff. I don't think the ship is sinking as bad as people think it is in San Francisco. I don't. I think they have plenty of good football still left in them, for sure. Injury-wise, Chicago, DeAndre Swift and DJ Moore, need to see if they're going to play. They're questionable. And then Bates, the center, he's also questionable. On the defensive side, both safeties are questionable, in Hicks and Kevin Byard. And then their next game is at Minnesota, Monday Night Football. So I'm not really, I mean, both these teams don't have anything to play for. But, I mean, Monday Night Football, look ahead to your divisional rival. like or divisional opponent. Like that's a big game, but I don't think that they're not looking ahead, guys. They got nothing to play for. San Francisco next game obviously is at home against the Rams, so I kind of wish that it wasn't because I want to bet the 49ers, but I still think I'm going to get there, guys. I still think I am. Trent Williams and Aaron Banks are questionable on the offensive line. Definitely want to make sure they're playing. On the defense, there's 4 guys to monitor. Lenore, the cornerback, Flanagan Fowles, the linebacker, Nick Bosa, and then Jordan Elliott, the defensive tackle. Like all 4 of those guys are impact players or like good players for them, starters for them. So I definitely kind of want to wait until I know like who's playing for San Francisco before I officially back them. So probably wait until Sunday before I officially bet San Francisco. And like normally when you fire your head coach, like the Matt Eberflus situation, the first week after they fire that coach, then you want to back the new interim head coach and back that team and like believe that they're going to play freely. I think they do, and I lean over 44. Let me see what the over-under is now. It was 44 when I did my notes earlier. Let me see what it is. Because I do think that this offense is going to play better. I really do. I mean, they already have been playing better for Chicago, and I think they do play well here, or well enough to put up points to get over this total. Because I definitely think the 49ers play well here, and I do feel strongly that the 49ers win this game. And with that, like with what I'm saying, like with that interim head coach, since Thomas Brown has already been the offensive coordinator, his voice has already resonated throughout the offensive room. So I'm not expecting this big jolt of like rah rah woo, like let's go win a football game now, like let's do it, like good, we got Matty Eberflus out. Like I think it's finally like more almost like a sigh of relief, like oh good, okay, he's gone. Now we don't have to worry about him anymore. Like we got the distraction out of the room. So like I think they play more freely, but with that I think they might play a little too freely. And I think that, they put up some points, but I think they also cost some they turn over the ball. I think they're a little bit like, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be as focused as you think they would be. So I definitely like San Francisco -4. Let me see if it's still -4. Yeah, it's -4. But I think there's some buyback. I think it's going down. If it gets down to -3, it's like, I'll still play it at -4. I think 49ers win and cover this game, guys. They still got Brock Purdy. They still got good enough weapons. The defense is still pretty talented. They're at home. Let's see how many home wins they have this year. Like that's key too. Like even them, they'll win games at home, guys. They only have 1, 2, 3. So they have 3 home wins. So I like them to win this game, guys. I like them to win and cover. I like it to go over 44. Okay. Next game, we've got the Sunday Night Football. It's a good one. Chargers at the Chiefs. Spread is Chargers +4. Over under is sitting at 43, 42.5, 43. Even see a 43.5. So that's interesting. Bouncing around the key number of 43. Okay. Injury-wise, or weather-wise, it's going to be cold, 40 degrees, 5 to 10 mile-per-hour winds. So Los Angeles is 8-4 against the spread, and they've only won, they've won 8 games, so that makes sense. Okay, so that's not too crazy. So they're 8-4 against the spread, 4-8 over-under. Kansas City is only 5-7 against the spread, so they've been winning and not covering. Obviously, they've gotten a lot of lucky wins. And then they're 6-6 over/under. McConkey, the wide receiver for the Chargers, is questionable, so we need to definitely track him because without him, they really don't have much to throw to. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Molden, the safety, Cam Hart, the rookie cornerback, questionable. Denzel Perryman, the linebacker, and Henley, the linebacker, are also questionable. So need to track the injuries for the Chargers if you want to bet the Chargers this week. Next game for them is their home versus Tampa Bay. For Kansas City, their next game is at Cleveland. Kansas City is fully healthy, no injuries at all. They're looking ready to go. These two teams already played earlier in the season. Kansas City won by 7, but Herbert was really hobbled in that game. Even with all that said, I understand, hey, the Chargers have been playing a little bit better. But I just, if you look at who they've beaten, I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't think they're gonna win the game. So already off break, if I don't think they're gonna win the game, I'm hesitant to pick them to cover the spread. I am, and they really should have lost at Atlanta. I mean, they didn't because they got to turn over Kirk Cousins 4 times. But I mean, they really could have. They really should have lost that game. They got manhandled by Baltimore. It wasn't. They gave up the late touchdown. Baltimore did. That game was really 30-16, and then Baltimore gave up a late touchdown. Before that, they beat Cincinnati at home. They were smoking them. Cincinnati came back, and they really should have lost that game against Cincinnati. They should have lost against Cincinnati, guys. McPherson missed 3 field goals or something like that. Tennessee's bad. They won at Cleveland. That's kind of impressive a little bit. At home against New Orleans against Spencer Rattler. Lost at Arizona. I don't trust them at Kansas City, guys. I know it's a divisional opponent. I can only look Kansas City -4. I know Kansas City hasn't looked good. Maybe they do just win and cover by 3 or 4 points. Maybe they do. But I feel pretty good. Kansas City pulls us out, guys, and bounces back off of 2 lackluster performances against bad teams in Carolina and the Raiders. So that's my thought on that game, guys. Last game up, Monday Night Football. We've got the Bengals at the Cowgirls. Bengals lost to the Cowboys. Ironically enough, to Cooper Rush 3 seasons ago, or maybe 3 seasons or 4 seasons ago, they lost at Dallas, and Cooper Rush was the quarterback when Dak Prescott got hurt. So funny enough, fast forward 3 years, and it's the same situation. Except the Bengals are out of the playoff contention, and the Cowboys are out of the playoff contention as well, too. Pretty much for the Cowboys, pretty much. But spread-wise, let's see what it's at. You got the Bengals at -5. And just flat out, guys, Bengals have no business laying 5 points. No business whatsoever. I'm already thinking about the Cowboys. With that defense, I don't care how good Joe Burrow is. I don't care. You can't be laying that many points on the road against a Cowboys team that's been playing pretty damn good, albeit against the Giants. I mean, they won on the road against the Commanders. They look good the entire game there, too. So, I can only... And they're going to be on national TV in Jerry's World. No, come on, guys. That's a big game. That's a big game, guys. I mean, it's not a big game, but, it's a prideful game. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to be ready to freaking play this game. Dallas is. So, no weather, obviously, for Dallas. Cincinnati is 6-6 against the spread. 9-3 over/under. So that's a huge over/under for Cincinnati to the over. Dallas is 4-8 ATS, and they're 8-4 over/under. So they're an over team as well. Cincinnati, injury-wise, Orlando Brown is doubtful. Mims, the other offensive tackle, is questionable, and Jamar Chase popped up as questionable. On defense, they've lost Logan Wilson for the year, and then Sheldon Rankins is questionable. So that Cincinnati defense is bad, guys. It's bad. They've lost 3 straight. Cincinnati's lost 3 straight. And their next game is at Tennessee. For Dallas, their next game is at Carolina. And need to track Tyler Guyton, the offensive tackle, Ferguson, the tight end, and then CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver, all questionable there. And on defense, they're healthy except for Diggs. Diggs is questionable. Like I said, they're on that 2-game win streak. And I can only look Dallas plus 5.5. I think I'm going to get there with Dallas plus 5.5. I definitely think so. I could see a lot of teasers being tied into the Bengals on Monday Night Football, and I could see the Bengals losing outright. I really could. And if not, I see a close game where Dallas definitely has a chance to keep it close. I do like the under a lot too, so I do think I'm going to bet the under 49.5. That's just a little too high. And then also the Bengals defense, like, they're not good, but at the same time, Cowboys offense isn't that great either. Like, I know they've had 2 good weeks in a row, but if you look at Cincinnati's defensive performances, right, when they played bad offenses, they've actually looked okay. Okay? So let's go back. So they played Pittsburgh, good offense. They gave up a lot. The Chargers, good offense. They gave up a lot. Baltimore, good offense. They gave up a lot. The Vegas Raiders, bad offense. The score is 41-24, but Joe Burrow threw a pick 6. They really only gave up 17 offensive points to the Raiders. So that was an okay performance. Philly, good offense. They gave up a lot of points. They were at Cleveland. They only gave up 14 points at Cleveland. That's a bad offense. Then against the Giants, at the Giants, bad offense. They only gave up 7 points. All right. Before that, dang, they gave up 24 to Carolina. Well, I guess Andy Dalton was kind of rolling then, so still, that's still not good. But of late, I'm telling you guys, I think that under 49 is going to cash. I think that's an even better bet than the Cowboys plus 5.5. And I am like pretty confident I'm going to get there with that. And the reason I'm saying that is because, like, with both these teams having high over unders, it's not sustainable. Like Cincinnati will have 5 unders, just like I was saying against the spread. The highest over under teams, they'll have 5 or 4 unders. And Cincinnati, they're going to have 2 more unders this year. Dallas, they have 4 unders only. They're going to get probably 2 more unders this year. This is a perfect game for both of them to log an under together. And the number looks right to me, like as it being too high at 49.5. I think this number should be closer to be probably closer to 47, honestly. And yeah, I like that under 49.5. I think that's going to hit. Dallas defense has been playing a little bit better too. And I mean, yeah, that's just a little too high, guys. It's a little too high. I like that under a lot. So, okay, guys, that's week 14. That's week 14 in the NFL. I'm excited. I don't know how much volume I'm going to have because at this point in the season, I only have 13 units. And I mean, I try to win every week. Don't get me wrong, but I'm really trying to selectively pick out the ones I feel the best about. And if there's some weeks where I feel like the best about like 15, then I'll play all 15. But this week, like, I don't see 15 that I love. I see only more about like 7 or 8. So might only just have 7 or 8. If things become more clear to me and like I see things a certain way, then like maybe I'll add a couple more. But I think only 7 to 8 picks this week. I think that's what it's looking like based off of like my first impression today. But we'll see, guys. I mean, shoot, if I just play 4 and win all 4 and get like 16 units, like, that'll be great. That will be great. So, but yeah, guys, that's the podcast. That's the YouTube show. Follow me at Twitter at Easy Money Wins, and I'll see you on the next show, guys. Thanks for listening.